Well, the biggest leak in history. That's the label which has been put on these revelations about a Panama-based law firm which reportedly is responsible for creating over 300,000 offshore shell accounts or businesses. Hundreds of high-profile politicians, sports stars, and actors are implicated. However, Sunday's publication of these leaks have received a somewhat filtered approach, when some names are put atop headlines while others are being kept shielded from view. Alexei Yarashevsky explains.
If you watched or read the news on Sunday, you would have learned of what has already been described as one of the biggest exposés in modern history, the so-called Panama Papers. Over 2 terabytes of data leaked from law firm in Panama, Mossack Fonseca, implicating over 100 current and former world leaders in creating offshore accounts, or to put it frankly, corruption. You would have definitely learned the story of the West's perfect villain, Vladimir Putin. The headlines, moreover, front-page headlines, looked almost entirely the same, pointing fingers at the Russian president, despite him not even being mentioned directly on the leaked documents. Those did indeed suggest Putin's friends and associates have been involved, potentially involved, in creating such accounts and presumably pocketing around $2 billion. Those have been all named. Some outlets even came up with in-depth profiles on those, and my favorite assumption so far by The Guardian, Putin's name was not on the list, but, I quote, business success of his friends could not have been secured without his patronage, end of quote. So people known to be close to Russian president have been implicated in possible corruption schemes, that created a whirlpool on media outlets. Many others who made that list did not create those headlines. Don't worry, we'll fill the gap for you. Now, the Panama Papers cover corruption allegations and offshore account allegations in 40 countries across the world, from Algeria to China, from Honduras to the United Arab Emirates. The one country which is entirely missing in those revelations is the United States. Now, speaking of the names mentioned on that list, it includes presidents of Argentina, Mauricio Macri, the Sheikh of the United Arab Emirates, Al Nahyan, the King of Saudi Arabia, King Salman, the Prime Minister of Iceland, Gunnlaugsson, the Emir of Qatar, Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, as well as the Spanish royal family, even the father of one of the biggest fighters against tax evasion, UK Prime Minister David Cameron, and the Ukrainian president, Petro Poroshenko, who actually declared fight against corruption as one of his main priorities. Poroshenko actually tweeted this today. And this time, we can actually believe him. According to the leaks, Poroshenko created his own offshore firm just 2 weeks before becoming president in May 2014. Now, not only politicians made the Panama Papers, several football officials, including the former UEFA president Michel Platini, arguably one of the best footballers in the world, Lionel Messi from Barcelona, is on the list, as well as the kung fu fighting Jackie Chan, the famous actor. Now, you may look at this very diverse list and ask yourself, are those people criminals? Well, no. In fact, it's actually perfectly legal internationally to create different offshore accounts. And The Guardian walkthrough in its front page article will actually tell you this, that using offshore structures is entirely legal and so on and so forth. But if you scroll up the very same piece, you will see this. There you go, guilty without trial, which gives you a perfect idea, not about the nature of what is described in the Panama Papers, but about how quick judgments and labels are being distributed in the world of today. Alexei Yarashevsky, RT, reporting from Washington, D.C.